E-R-Y, it's the miserable media. M-I-S-E-R-Y, it's the miserable media. It's the miserable media.
It's the miserable media. Rolling!
Oh shit, we are rolling and we are back up in the miserable media studio, aka the Bondi studio. What is up? Welcome to the show. I am one half of the co-hosting panel, Brett Grau.
Bondi Blue.
She is established like a motherfucker on YouTube. Been in this, the hardest working lady in show business right here. Dishing out video after video after video.
8 years in this game. I thought it was 7, but then I remember 2018 happened, so it's been 8 years.
And I appreciate you doing this
almost
with me.
60,000 subscribers. It's you know, it's okay. I appreciate it.
She does so well. Don't you agree? I'm telling you. Thank you so much for doing this with me, darling. Oh, we have such a good time.
Yes, we do.
I mean, it's good to see you. We get together, you know. Oh, we have a blast, and thank you for coming back. Now, this is a show we like to talk. We like to make fun of the news, basically.
Yes, and we like to bitch about it since we couldn't do it at work.
Sure, because we make fun of the news because the news is pretty miserable. So let's make fun about it as opposed to just being miserable about it.
You're not miserable. You're not from that place.
Yeah, and we also happen to we worked in the business for probably 20 years combined plus. So we know some of the inside shit, some of the bullshit that goes on.
And from several different perspectives.
Yeah, and the best shit is the shit that, all workplaces have to deal with. Yes. The office space shit, but when you see it in a different field, we all together in this shit.
I would like to know what place is not exactly like the U.S. version of The Office, the show. What workplace is not like that? Because I feel like that's almost
it's not.
It's indicative to
get out. Corporate America, baby. It's a miserable place, man. The newscast is part of it. But look, we have a whole season under us. This show got a little bit of an identity now. And, I thought maybe right at the beginning of season 2, we'd try to figure out who our audience is exactly. Label our audience. Okay. You know what I mean?
That sounds interesting.
Right off the bat, if you're new to this show, you can just step right now because these are the people who tend to not like this show at all. All right?
They hate us.
If you have a very strong party affiliation to either one of them, strong. You down with your side and you don't want to hear any criticism.
You're closed-minded.
You're wrong.
That's
you might as well just step right now.
I feel like there's some fallacies and there's some truths in both sides of most things, but I do think that Republicans have a very special brand of changing history. But that's
sure.
fine.
We have a way.
I'm living my life.
I'm really middle of the road politically.
Yes.
So
I would like to even take himself off the road in our situation.
Absolutely. I do not have a player in this game at all, so I can look back and enjoy this for the show that it is. You know what I mean? Instead of being miserable about it, like the damn sky's falling. You know what I mean? I just I sit back and I laugh about it. It's the way I am. Also, we tend to be a little bit, I'm more than you, a little bit conspiratorial, right?
Yes.
And
I'm
when I
very much, Olivia Pope, Annalise Keaton, Shonda Rhimes scandal. There's always a larger scheme at play. Y'all show us what, y'all want us to see to keep the collective from freaking out. Because if the collective freaks out, then we have real anarchy and it fucks up the system. And then money doesn't mean anything. It's a lot.
Sure. Look, and if you are one of these people who are on the other end, I call them pretty much asleep. But if you're only an argument,
you're not conscious.
And what I have is a lot of questions. I don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying?
No, we don't have all the answers at all.
And this is my frustration with the media because I have a lot of questions.
Yes.
And I'm begging some of them to just answer somebody. Somebody ask them. You don't have to answer them. Ask somebody. Ask the same questions that I have. But if your argument to my, conspiracy that I don't exactly have the answers to, but I have the question to, is just benevolence.
It's just do that.
The American government has your best interest. There's no conspiracy here. It's okay, what's your argument?
I'm black. So at the end of the day, at one point we were enslaved. So I don't know if I could ever feel like this shit has any benevolence about it.
Yeah,
I think that people have their own personal interests at play no matter what they say and no matter what the situation is. They have their own personal feelings at play and the reasons why they do things when they're in the media and when they're in politics.
We come from a place of cynicism.
Yes.
And we're very cynical.
I don't trust none of you mother.
Well, what that means is that people act in their own interest, okay? That's what that means. And then, like, that takes you to all kind of places, all right? So, if you like that, benevolence, America's benevolent. There's no conspiracy. Everybody loves you, wants the best for you.
Except for the fact that there's a 1% that's, like, 90% richer than the rest of the 99% of the world. Sure. Except for that part.
Sure.
Except for the dream that we were sold. And now, because middle-class white folks have realized that it's hard to make it out here in these streets, all of a sudden, you know, black folks are taking their jobs and shit. I'm just saying. That's where, like, I've interviewed people and their reasoning behind how they feel is that it's the same thing with how people feel about the Mexicans. Oh, you've come and you've taken something from me, and that is why I don't have the American dream. You don't have the American dream because the American dream is a lie.
Because you have to be asleep to believe it. That's why credit to George Carlin, not me. Now, if you are a person that is displeased with any criticism of law enforcement, you might as well just step right now, because even if it's constructive criticism, even if I'll do it with some praise,
I feel like it's common sense.
And that
there's some good practice.
You might as well, And now that, like, to that note,
you believe it in movies,
but so this excludes like maybe 80% of white people, because white people hate when you talk about the freaking cops.
And I don't understand why. Like, white people get accosted.
I don't know. I get hated on, all the time, but But it goes back to the benevolence thing. Like, I mean, the in a lot of instances,
they police themselves, for God's sakes. How is there any benevolence and no accountability?
It's just, to me, look, you're carrying out the agenda of your government. They work for the government. They're supposed to work for us. They're supposed to be upholding the Constitution.
They're supposed to be servicing.
I know, but before
but
they work for the government, and the government to them is benevolent. So, like, asleep, like, you just
That's why it's the concept of soldiers, because you want people to mindlessly, brainlessly believe that everything's okay and nobody's really trying to hurt anyone. I don't understand how you can have that frame of mind and live.
We're not anti-police. It's just when you're in.
I'm calling y'all if something happens.
No, I'm not anti-police, but when you're in the news,
I have met some very lovely officers. When you're NOPD and JPSO, I have met very lovely people.
Absolutely. When you're in the news, that's when we're going to talk about you. So, like, and when you're a hero, shit, I'll try to work it in too. Love you. Okay. All right. Now,
simple your ass. Look what he did. He's amazing.
Now, listen to me. If you're one of these people,
Officer Frank.
And now, if you
Officer Frank that saved that old lady that had went into the water in a car, and he told her not to go in there. Ma'am, don't do it, ma'am. And she drove around the police cars and drove into the water any fucking way. And then he got out his car and went into the water, and he couldn't swim, and he saved her life. Couldn't swim.
Who the fuck calling it? We in the middle of the damn intro up in here.
I don't know what's wrong with
look, if you are also one of these people that adheres to this old school policy that, it's inappropriate to talk about matters of religion, politics, sex, and race. I hate that. You know what I mean? That's a good way to, like, never learn anything about each other and grow.
That's why they tell you not to talk about how much money you make, because they don't want you to know that the other people around you might be making more or less and all of this type of stuff. That's why I don't live by that shit neither. When people be like, oh, don't tell people how much you make. Why? What, am I going to get robbed because they found out how much I made in a year? Right? I don't have it right now.
That shit was probably started by some racist fucking motherfucker to keep racism going. We're not supposed to talk. You don't talk about matters of race and politics, religion.
Keep everybody
what the fuck? Yeah, let's just be quiet.
Don't talk to each other, because if you talk to people, just like if you get outside of your comfort zone, if you get outside in the world, if you're not just exclusive to the state that you live in or the city or the part of the city that you live in, you have an open mind. You view things in a different way. People that don't go anywhere have a certain mindset, and I don't care what anybody says.
Right. And then finally, like, to that note, I knew when we started this show that, this dynamic was going to be kind of the thing about it, you know, the juxtaposition of black and white, female, male, and we can talk about shit and work it out. That's going to be the whole thing. But I'll tell you what, man, I'm a little disturbed, and it's hard to disturb me, but I'm a little. There are some people that do not like it. Like, so, I mean, they just like judging black and white. That's what I mean, judging by like some of the comments you get either under our video, and, you know, or in social media or whatever. And I know Brittany has a policy. Look, if I don't like what you put under my video,
I'm deleting your comment.
It's gone. You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, like
sometimes I let you hoes live.
I like it to stay there for a day to see if anybody comes to the fucking rescue. And I think people just like to fight more on, say, Facebook than they do on YouTube. Yeah. When they do that, they hate to play for that. But I'll wait for some people to come to the rescue.
Chicago police and the mayor remain outraged after prosecutors abruptly dropped all charges against Jussie Smollett.
So this past week, as we've all seen, the Jussie Smollett situation has, we think, come to a close. I'm not exactly sure about that. There's always some new information that we don't really care about or don't need surfacing. But you know what? All the charges were dropped, and this has been expunged from Jussie Smollett's record. And I want to talk about this on a grander scale because I'll probably talk about it on my own channel.
I'm confused. Did they say that he didn't lie about it and he was actually attacked?
They didn't say any of that.
Or they're just saying we don't care?
No, what they're saying is he didn't hurt anybody, and we would rather use our resources stopping people that are actually hurting other people and not themselves. So that's why they decided.
So it's like totally open what happened, and we'll never know. Like we don't.
Basically, that's why they got it expunged.
But was he jumped by Nigerians? I mean,
the Nigerians said that he paid them to do it, and those Nigerians are not being arrested or charged with anything. So that makes me believe the police believe their story.
All right. Well, this was.
So wait, this is my question. My question is. Do we think this is a part of a bigger thing that's happening in Chicago? Because not only this, but there was a situation with Michael Evanetti or whatever his name is, and then there was a situation with Jussie Smollett's lawyer, and there's all this kind of getting away with shit and corruption that's happening. The R. Kelly people are saying that R. Kelly's gonna get off, even though they have all these witnesses this time, and they have another tape. So it's just, do we think that there's some crazy, you know, Batman type shit going on behind the scenes in Chicago?
Look,
politics?
I don't. This whole thing is kind of weird because, like, Rahm Emanuel, who's the mayor, and he's taking, you know, the side of the police and the law enforcement. Like, look, we spent all this money pursuing this. We spent all this money pursuing this, and then like you're just like, oh, it's not serious enough to pursue. We don't want to spend.
Right. But I mean, I do think they overcharged him.
But this happens
charges.
This happens.
He lied. That was it.
This happens all the time in law, where like, look, it's up to the state to decide if they want to spend go through all this shit, and
they decided not to.
And very often, but in a hate crime, like. The hate crime law was put in
here's
to
the thing.
protect.
It was not a hate crime. At this point, it's not a hate crime because by them charging him, he's being charged, not the people who supposedly did this to him. If they were charging the two Nigerian men who supposedly whipped his ass,
well, that's what we say.
That would be a hate crime. But this is not a hate crime.
Okay, well then, if he didn't lie under oath and that crime did happen, they want to go find the Nigerians and prosecute them.
The Nigerians were going along with it and ready
they take hate crimes very seriously.
Yes, they do. That's why the police department is asking for the FBI to take over the case.
That's what I mean.
Don't think they will.
I mean, like, because people are saying, like, this undermines the hate crime. I don't want them to not believe me when I come. There were more severe punishments on a hate crime because of this. And we don't want to take away from that.
But I feel like people should not believe somebody's story just because some people lie. Like, that's not how the world works. So why should that work? That's why I never understand why they'll use, like, oh, well, you lied before, so how do we know we can trust you now? It's like everybody lies. I don't know one person that doesn't lie. But you can't use that as an example to say that somebody's testimony isn't true.
Well, let me ask you this. There seems to be some celebration in the black community about the Jussie Smollett pardon. What is that? Is that like an OJ thing? Like, what's up? What's up with that?
I'm going to tell you what it is. I think that for some people it may not have a connection, but for a lot of people it does have a connection. That there were so many Caucasian people who can call the police on black people for doing absolutely nothing, and we don't really see in the media anything happening to them. So with Jussie doing a situation that was basically similar to that, calling the police saying that something happened that didn't happen, even though I felt like he should have gotten something like a fine and probation, I don't think that he should have been against 60 years in jail.
Well, over this they're not going for that. But
I'm just saying. So I think to an extent,
they asking for the money, by the way.
Oh, they did. They asked him to forfeit the $10,000 bond.
They said, "Oh no, you owe us, the
150.
Yeah, 150, and it may get more." And I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, but look, people talk about Oprah making a phone call.
Look, somebody made a phone call. Somebody, I mean, but I think that somebody knows something on somebody who, was able to be like, yeah.
But it's weird because Rahm Emanuel is part of that group.
Right.
Rahm Emanuel, like Oprah and Barack's boy and all that shit, and he's like hollering he's pissed off. You know what I mean?
Are pissed off.
He's in the group. So like the confusion here is, it's weird that there's a celebration about him letting get off on a hate crime thing.
That's where some people believe this story. Some people believe that he wasn't lying, and I think those people are slow.
All right.
Like I don't know how you don't believe he wasn't lying.
Right.
Like his story didn't make sense from the beginning. And then people keep saying that, he didn't put that story out. But I'm like, then who did?
I was kind of. I had an eyebrow go up when I saw the. When I saw the timing.
Jussie Smollett.
When I saw the timing of this story, with them letting them off, it came the day after Mueller. You know what I mean? So like when all the
everybody getting off.
Everybody, they gave him Trump, and I feel like whoever's writing this news script at the AP or whatever is like, let's throw him a bone and give him Jussie Smollett. I was like, what it does is it gives the conservative media on that side who are gloating about this something else to talk about, so they can be enraged. You know what I mean? Right. So that's like where you see the
Jussie Smollett got off.
So I don't think Smollett, like the president, Smollett is the exact same weight.
No, but you think that there's some conspiracy going on.
Well, I just think we talk. I think it's a show. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's a distraction. I think that there's probably some law being put in that fucks over the large part of humanity in some way. So look, focus on this over here. Jussie Smollett, bullshit.
Right.
But let's just admit that if he was not a celebrity, nobody would care about this story.
Right. Fair enough. And while we mentioned Mueller, so go ahead and roll some Mueller shit.
There will be much to mull over in coming days about the Robert Mueller report and the Attorney General's 4-page letter about it, but it's clearly a political win.
All right, breaking news. Trump didn't do shit. There was no Russian collusion. It was all bullshit. I don't know. What I'm hearing is there was a criminal investigation done by a bunch of criminals, and they found that there was no criminal activity amongst the criminals in this criminal proceeding, and we're on to looking at more criminal shit. What the fuck, Brittany? Talk to me, baby.
Well, I think as a whole, I think that people in society think that criminals are others. But what they don't realize is the criminals are the people that you trust. Like your president. And I also believe that just because you can't prove something, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. He had meetings. His people had meetings with the Russians. The Russians were colluding and doing shit on Facebook to sway votes and all that type of shit. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. And as Brett has already told y'all, we believe that sometimes people are playing chess. Okay? And they see in the long game and knowing that they had to do this, to do this, to do that, to do that. I mean, that's government. That's how shit goes. That's why people have to sign so many dumbass bills in order to get this done, to get that done, to get this done, to get that done.
Man, it's just so strange that,
I think he did this shit.
Just newscast after newscast after newscast after newscast was about this Russia shit. You know what I mean? And then they come out and they say that there was no Russian collusion, and then nobody accepts it. You don't accept it. I mean, the news people don't accept it. But, like, what was the point in having the investigation if nobody's going to accept it? I think it was a fucking show the whole fucking time. But, like, man, you come up with, like, the anchors are like... But you don't think it's strange that the anchors are, like, upset, when
they were?
They were anchors, like, crying about this because they, like, they were...
Did Rachel Maddow cry on fucking screen again? You gotta toughen up, bitch.
Absolutely. So I don't know. The conservatives were gloating about it all day long, and then
why
the answer
were they gloating?
but like for that side is like, okay, this just confirms.
The president got investigated. That's bad within itself.
I know, but then like when the investigation that everybody called for.
They never proved
I know, but it came out. But like, and now people celebrating that he didn't collude,
the right
according to the
got
investigation.
The right information.
Like,
Fuck
what do we do? Like, what they're saying? I mean, the argument is like, so what's good for the country is bad for the media. Like, why is the media upset that the investigation?
I think because this administration has shown to be non-transparent at all. And we also don't believe, I think that I don't know, because of the video evidence of how much President Trump tends to lie about things, I think that people are frustrated with the fact that there's never going to be any justice for what people imagine is a great injustice. Like the fact that somebody obtained the presidency that, first of all, doesn't deserve to have it. Like, I mean...
He doesn't, but the investigation said that there was no collusion. Like, to me, I'm thinking that, like, all it takes is one source. And
obviously,
you know what the source
Trump has
is,
been
right?
able to get away with a lot of things in his life, including grabbing pussies. So do I believe that
ridiculous.
He didn't do it just because they didn't prove it? No.
I don't know. So all it takes is one motherfucker at the AP Newswire, right? And there's nobody more upset about this than the news people that had to cut Russia shit every day. Brittany, can you cut another Russia VO? Can you make another run? 2 years of covering this. Every time you open up ENPS, the first thing on there is Russia. Right? So this is what you deal with. Like, this is why I left the mother. So for 2 years, I've been fucking what the fuck have I been doing? That at the end, one day the AP, the next thing you know, the AP.
It's all a show. It's all a show.
Exactly.
Now.
Like,
it's all a show.
So
now.
nobody's more upset than the news people.
Ever since we started recording high speed,
the investigation was bullshit.
It's not news anymore.
But why?
It's entertainment.
But tell me this:
about what the fuck?
Why isn't the original story bullshit in a show? The original Russia. All it did to the news producer, all it did was pop up in the AP Newswire.
Right, and
then the whole country goes, because that's what the news is. One source, the AP motherfucking Newswire. We've talked about this before. So
He's upset with you.
This is what pisses me off. I mean, think about the poor people in the newscast that had to cut the goddamn We need another. Is one Russia VO different than the other Russia VO?
Oh, you got.
What do you even put in a Russia VO? What do you fucking put in a Russia? So it's bullshit.
You put the sites of Russia. You put all of the beautiful architecture that they have in Russia. You use that. There's a lot of video of that, and I love that video.
We need some different Russia. I hate that stupid shit. But here's the deal. So nice. Here's my only thing about Mueller or Mueller. I don't even know how you pronounce Mueller. I can't tell him from John Kerry or from
not the eyebrows.
I mean, I can't tell him from John Kerry, and I can't tell him from Judge Chamberlain, aka Herman Munster. Like, they all white people look alike, and it's like Frankenstein when you look like this motherfucker.
That is that.
Get a fucking Mueller. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the 2 years of the fucking Russia fucking bullshit. Brittany says fucking he still fucking did it. I say I don't give a fuck. We're all fucked. Have a good life.
The next Powerball drawing happens later tonight. The estimated jackpot, $750 million.
So is there any other tell from the media that they're kind of in bed with the state when they have to shove down your throat what the goddamn lottery's up to? You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. It's all you hear about. Every newscast across the country is selling
$700 million.
Selling lottery tickets? This is what you do.
So get your lotto ticket.
They literally come on and say, you have a better chance of getting eaten by a shark while fucking your wife's boss and chewing bubblegum or some shit like that. But make sure you don't miss your opportunity to go buy a Powerball ticket.
Yeah,
thanks.
You're not going to win, but
thanks
please
a lot,
get to
media.
stake your money.
Could it be because they run?
Tax.
Could it be because they run a fucking commercial on your shit and you fucking feed each other fucking bullshit and you're in fucking bed with each other? I don't know.
One hand always washes the other.
To me, I don't know. Follow the money. That's all he said. And money. We talking about $1 billion.
I wish
and
I would win it.
Every newscast in the fucking country is trying to sell the fucking lottery ticket. I hate that stupid shit.
Yeah.
One person's gonna win. They tell you you'll never win, but fucking you can't go spend your money. Don't ever persuade me to do anything. You fucking newscast motherfuckers. Don't persuade me to do shit. Never.
And I feel like when you really think about it, if the lottery that we win is based off of the dollars that everybody spends to get these lottery tickets, just think about what could happen if everybody put that money together for something that would benefit the country.
The motherfucker that wins is gonna wind up with nothing. Broke, homeless, sucking
After
people
they
off
paid
for fucking
half
money.
the taxes.
Guarantee you, all that money's going back to the government, to the economy, whatever.
Exactly.
It's all fucking recycled.
Just
and you're
like
gonna
drugs
fucking
that police
and you're gonna make
confiscate
me and then some
back into the system.
and don't even mean me. I'm not gonna buy a ticket for these poor ignorant fucking people. Whatever money
Buy
they got,
every day.
they don't sell. Fuck us. We see them all the time, dude.
Every day.
Buying. They gonna fuck.
Pack of cigarettes,
These people.
liquor,
Somebody
lottery
had the
ticket.
idea to buy $100 worth of fucking lottery. You know, you've been saving up for a month. Like, he's gonna fucking win. Like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck you for that bullshit. News media. That's it. That's all we got for right now. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Brett Grau, Bondy
Bondy
Blue
Blue.
in the house. Goodbye.